and girls, welcome back to another episode of Learn a Skill with Me, where each week you have the opportunity to experiment and learn a new skill. I am your host, Malika McIntosh, and today we are all the way down in Point Fortin. Now, if you don't know where that is, have mom or dad help you locate it on a map. Today, we'll be digging into the field of agriculture. Can anyone tell me what these are? Well, if you guessed seeds, then you're correct. Today, we'll be learning how to plant a seed and also transplant a seedling. Now, if you look around, all of the beautiful flowers and huge trees that you see were once a little tiny seed. Now, these seeds need 4 main things to grow. They are sunlight, soil, water, and air. If you'd like to see a tiny seed grow into a seedling, stay tuned for more. Today, to assist us, we have Miss Jenise Harnarinesingh.
Hi, Malika.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. You can call me Miss Jenise.
Wonderful. So, Miss Jenise, can you tell us what is a seed?
So, a seed can be found in fruits and vegetables, and it develops into a seedling. A seed has everything that it needs to develop into its own seedling. It has an outer layer called the seed coat. Inside of the seed coat, it has an energy source, as well as the very first roots and shoots that will grow and develop into seedlings.
Wonderful. Now, Miss Janine, can you tell us all about the materials that we'll need for our activity today?
Sure. So our activity today involves planting seeds and transplanting seedlings. To do that, we will need a seed, of course, and your seedling, and you will need 2 containers. You will need soil, a shovel for that soil, water, and gloves.
Wonderful. Let's get started.
Okay, to plant a seed and to transplant a seedling, we have some simple steps to follow. First step is to get 2 containers. You label your containers, 1 for the seed and container 2 where we would be transplanting our seedling. In container 1, we're going to add soil, about 3/4 ways full. After you've added the soil into container 1, we are going to also add soil into container 2 and set it aside. Now, in container 1, we are going to place our seed. So we get a healthy seed. We take our finger and we place a shallow hole into the container. We drop the seed into container 1 and cover it with soil. Next, we will mist the surface with water so that the soil becomes nice and moist. Now we will place container 1 into an area where it gets enough sunlight and air in order to germinate into a seedling. When it has germinated into a seedling, we take our second container and mist the surface of the soil with water as well. Using our finger again, we would place a shallow hole in the middle, take our seedling and gently place it into that hole. The seedling is very fragile, so we must be careful. We will cover the roots of the seedling with the soil and pat it gently so that it stays standing. After we've placed the seedling into the soil, we will mist it with water so that it gets enough moisture to grow. Next, we will be placing the seedling into an area where it gets enough sunlight and air to grow into a healthy plant.
Wow, Miss Jenise, that was a lot of fun.
I know, right? I know, it was so much fun. So, after you plant your seedling, as Malika said in the beginning, once it has enough sunlight and enough water, then guess what? It develops into this healthy plant. So you can even see some small peppers growing here.
There they are.
Yeah, so this plant is about 8 weeks old. It still needs water and sunlight. So we have to make sure that we keep our plants in enough sunlight so that they will be nice and healthy.
Great. Miss Jenise, can you just go over the steps once again?
Sure. So the steps were really simple. The first thing that you have to do is choose a seed. You have to make sure that your seed is healthy. The second step is to get 2 containers. So your containers must have proper drainage.
That's right.
Yes. So if you need to make drainage holes, you have to make sure that your parents are there to help you. Okay? So after you have your containers, you get the soil, you place the soil about 3/4 ways full into the container. And then you can just use your finger to place a hole big enough to drop the seed in. You cover the hole and you mist the soil so that it's nice and moist. After a couple weeks, when the seed germinates into a seedling, you can transplant the seedling into the second container. So you have to be very careful because these seedlings are very fragile and they can break easily. So you place the seedling into the soil and you cover the roots. You mist it with water and you put it in a place where it gets enough sunlight. So those are the steps.
Quite simple. Boys and girls, if you need to go over these steps once again, check out our video description below. Okay, boys and girls, now before we go away, Miss Jenise is going to tell us a little bit about some of the careers that you can get into in the field of agriculture.
Oh, there are so many exciting careers in agriculture, but I'll just mention 3. So the first one we have is an ecologist. So an ecologist studies the relationships between plants, animals, and the environment. Next, we have horticulturists. Horticulturists focus on gardens, so they make sure that gardens are healthy and the plants are producing enough flowers. Finally, we have farmers. So you know, Malika, when you go to the markets with your parents and you see all the fruits and vegetables, that is because of our farmers. So our farmers, they would make sure that the seeds are collected, that they are planted correctly, and they would grow and develop into these magnificent plants that produce all the fruits and vegetables that we need for a healthy diet.
So boys and girls, you heard it from Miss Jenise. There are lots of careers and possibilities that you can tap into in the field of agriculture. Miss Jenise, we'd like to thank you for joining us today and showing us all of these amazing things about seeds and seedlings.
Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to seeing all the seeds and seedlings that you guys plant.
That's right. So if you'd like to send us a photo or a video of your seed or seedling, send it to us via our social media pages. Now kids, that's all the time that we have for today. Until next week, where you can join us again on Learn a Skill with Me. Bye-bye.